Hello and welcome back to SnowRunner. Now in this video, and I will go ahead and get this out of the way right up front because it's, I'm sure it's going to get asked. This is a PC only mod and all of the information required in order to access said mod is in the description down below. But once again, just to clarify, this mod is only for PC players. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into Yeah Buddy's 2024 Ford Raptor R. Now, the Raptor R, as I'm sure a lot of y'all already know, I don't have to introduce the Raptor R to probably any of y'all watching this video. I mean, let's be honest, if you clicked on a video with Raptor R in the title, you probably already know what the Raptor R is. So you certainly don't need me to bring you up to speed. Although, in the off chance that someone is not up to speed, it's a Raptor with a supercharged V8 and like 700 some odd horsepower. Essentially what it is it's a version of the Raptor that makes everyone that gets angry when someone else drives fast in SnowRunner very upset, or rather would be very upset because, you just can't drive over 25 miles an hour off-road. Otherwise, sticks will destroy your entire axle and they'll destroy your diff and they'll destroy your tires and they'll, completely destroy your bodywork because driving, honestly, any more than 20 to 25 miles an hour off-road is just incredibly unrealistic. At least it is, according to a very specific subset of the SnowRunner/MudRunner community that is allergic to driving quickly. And I know that to some of y'all, this probably sounds like a really silly discourse to even have, but this legitimately led to actual, comment section breakdowns and shouting in Discord servers, and has led to that many times over the years because someone legitimately said, there are people that you cannot bring up the fact that SnowRunner's phantom damage system for running over a small stick or a small pebble should not cause a tire to pop or cause, half of the side of your truck to get damaged. But there are people that will ferociously defend that, saying it is based on the grounds of realism. I guess just don't show those people any footage of any pre-runner ever. Because if you show them any footage of any pre-runner going like 75, 80 miles an hour across some whoops, they might just fall over. I don't know. They wouldn't know how to process it, that's for sure. But honestly, whether or not a part of the SnowRunner community can actually process the fact that a truck could go more than 30 miles an hour off-road without destroying itself is a whole nother topic in itself, and I'm going to stop harping on it. And finally, back to the Raptor R. So there's a pretty wide range of color options that you can select, although if you go down to the very bottom, you'll actually find some options that are a lot more worn. They're a lot more, they almost look battle scarred. They almost look like they've been kind of just out in the wilderness for ever, which in a way doesn't really make much sense because the Raptor R is very much so a brand new truck still. But I don't know, all realism stuff aside, a lot of these weathered paint jobs, which is what I'm going to call them, honestly, I think look really, really good. And I like the texture work that's been done on them. And now we finally get to drive it. Now, I was a little concerned about taking this thing out with the maximum performance engine as well as the highway gearbox because part of me was like, well, that'll probably just be a little too fast for a map like TNB Trails. But honestly, no, it's really, really well dialed in and really well balanced. And the Baja suspensions are so smooth. They are some of the smoothest suspensions that I have ever driven on any truck. Now, granted, these are Yeah Buddy trucks. So, Yeah Buddy, we all know, puts a ton of, honestly, just time and effort into the suspension tuning. And I would almost venture a guess that suspension tuning is Yeah Buddy's favorite aspect of building a mod. And even if it isn't, it's gotta be up there because these suspensions have had far too much love put into them for me to just say, oh yeah, they probably just, I don't know, they built the suspension because they had to and then they moved on. No. These suspensions genuinely have like time and energy and effort and love put into them. And you can tell, honestly, you can tell in the way these things not only drive, but also in the way that they take jump landings and other harder hits, because the way a suspension in SnowRunner can take both a harder hit as well as like a softer landing and actually be able to differentiate between the two kind of doesn't exist in a lot of mods. A lot of modded trucks will just kind of land or crash land, depending on the level of speed that you're going, of course. But this thing can land smoothly no matter whether you're going fast, slow, high height, low height, whatever YaBuddy has figured out how to do in terms of keeping these suspensions incredibly smooth. I'm honestly blown away every time I get to drive one of these trucks because they're honestly just that good in terms of how much fun they are to drive. Now, as you can see, clearly my own fault in terms of the rollover. I kind of nicked the side of a wheel and then just caught a rollover, and then that was kind of the end of that. That just kind of happens, unfortunately, when it comes down to the things that you have to do in this game sometimes. And the physics system is not always the greatest for higher speed driving, but it's honestly not too bad. And suspension setups like this do help make it a little bit better when you do drive them properly, unlike the next thing you're about to see me do, which is give myself nowhere near enough speed and then bounce on the landing and then try to get more speed picked up and then bounce on the landing again and then throw my rhythm off. But honestly, neither one of those things were about as bad as what I did in the last section, which you're about to see. And I'm just going to be quiet and let y'all watch because it's genuinely horrible. And now I'm stuck here. So that went grand. That went so well. And I was like, oh, we're on this really good lap. We've only had like one little incident. And then right there on the final hill, which honestly, it doesn't surprise me that it happened on the final hill. But nevertheless, right there on the final hill was where it pretty much just fell apart. So, of course, with that all being said and done, I wanted to take another lap because I didn't want to let that one end so badly. And while this lap was off to a pretty good start, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of fell apart a little bit after this. So don't worry about it. Or do. That's also entirely up to you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I've never been here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I'm just here to advise that if you expect this lap to be perfect, it's not. It's not at all. Although I finally nailed down that rhythm section, which I didn't necessarily nail it down perfectly, but I got it a lot better than just about all of the prior times I have been at this track in kind of every recent video where I have actually been here. But unfortunately, right here is where this lap fell apart because I thought I was carrying an appropriate amount of speed and your girl wasn't. Fortunately, after the invisible rescue truck arrived, we were just fine. And then, of course, we were just on our way again. Like it never happened. Oh, that's some company's logo or some company's slogan. I don't know or remember which company's slogan that is. But if y'all had as much fun watching as I did recording this video, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. And if you're interested in checking out this truck, all of the information you may need is, of course, down there in that description box. And we're going to end with a little bit of a trail ride over here on the right-hand side of the track, almost like, I don't know if you would call it like a quote-unquote infield, but it's there, and you can make use of it. And of course, if y'all have any other suggestions in terms of SnowRunner content, or rather any other game that you would like to see here on the channel, make sure to also leave all of your thoughts, opinions, and suggestions in that comment section down below. And with that, that is where we are going to end this one. I'll see y'all next time.